I'm Nicholas Gill and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today he is fantastic at cooking. I've hired him for the day, so he's going to cook me a few things. So what are you going to make for me?
Hi Nicholas, I'm good, thank you, and thank you for inviting me as well.
Not at all.
So for starters, we have lotus seeds actually. So
nice.
It's more or less on a natural basis. So any Indian food, we usually go for some sort of crackers beside it. So it goes very well with spice or to balance out the entire food.
Lovely.
So the lotus seed, it's a very simple and straightforward dish. And second round would be plain rice.
Lovely.
And we go for a chicken-based curry.
I love my favourite. My absolute favourite. And for dessert?
Dessert, yeah, that's the best part to be honest.
Nice, very nice. Well, you can surprise me for dessert.
Definitely, yes.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it, and I absolutely adore a good Indian, and I can't wait to try all of your food. So let's get started.
Super excited for this.
So I'm now just going to relax here. I'm going to do some emails and get some work done. That's the great thing about hiring somebody. And I'm going to have a glass of wine and relax here, and also watch the cooking behind the scenes, which you guys are going to enjoy. So enjoy.
Just wanted to let you know a little bit update on our first dish which we're going to cook today. This is the lotus seeds. This would be the initial stage of how it looks. So what we're going to do with this, it's a high protein meal, somewhat like an alternative which you can use it for your popcorns or crackers. If you're a big snack person, where if you're working from home as well, and if you're healthy conscious, happy days, this would be a best go-to dish. Basically, I'll be using 3 different ingredients on this one. One would be the ghee. Ghee is more or less, it's a byproduct of butter or something else like what you regularly use for cooking. Second would be the cayenne pepper. This one is specifically made from my mom back in India, so it's kind of very strong and it's a very spicy kind of a thing that actually gives you the red color. There's no colors added onto it as a fake ones, so technically it's a very strong pepper, and salt. That's about it for the cooking part. So one best thing about ghee, it's more or less like a solid and a liquid state. So even if you try to pour it in, it doesn't fall out. So normally what I recommend my friends is just leave it on the pan here, scroll it down a little bit like this. So it kind of slowly melts into the spoon and it falls off. And let it be. Always feel the heat. And when you feel it's right time, just grab 1 or 2 spoons of it. Just lay it out there, give it a good bit of shake. So what we need to actually keep an eye out for, it's the light brown indentations all around the actual pops over there. So what that indicates that it's almost cooked through all the way inside. It makes it a little bit crunchier and tastes way better. Now we know when it's ready, what do? Put it in the corner. So now what we do is, based on our taste and flavor and the spice tolerance, we spice it up a little bit with salt. Salt always makes it a little bit better. And then we go for the best part, the cayenne pepper. It's a finely ground cayenne pepper there. Just give it a little bit of mix up here. Since you already added on the ghee to it, it actually reduces down the spices on this, and it immediately cools down in your tongue. Here you go, sir. This is your first appetizer for the evening right there. The lotus seed slowly crusted and heated on the ghee, added on with a little bit of cayenne pepper and salt. It's a really quick nibble for you before I get into the next dish.
Thank you so much.
Here you go. Well, let's get to the second dish over here. So there's 2 parts coming into the second dish. So majorly our first focus would be for the rice. What you need to do is you need to soak in the rice, clean it thoroughly such that you can see the rice very clear through the bowl. And apart from that, you need to soak the rice for at least 20 minutes. What that does is it cooks faster and becomes loose like a grain. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rice cooker to pour in the rice over there with a little bit of ghee and the other spices. We have elaichi, we have cinnamon stick, we have bay leaves and black pepper over here. So let's start with the process how it goes. So we get the ghee for the first time. We go back to the rice cooker over here. What we do is we slowly round it off until it slides off. So let it set until it completely melts down there. Now we get all the spices which we left out as per here. We have the cinnamon sticks, black pepper and elaichi over there. That's going to going back into the cooker. Well, the spices are slowly roasting into the rice cooker there. Just for your heads up, the bay leaves are never meant to be put in straight away, because once that's properly cooked, maybe after 10 or 15 seconds you drop it in, otherwise it's going to burn and turn black. What we do is we wait until it slowly cooks and you can actually smell it properly, and you can see the different fragrance coming out from the cooker itself. Now it's time for the bay leaves to fall in. I like to actually crush it a little bit and just drop it into it. Give it a 5 or 10 seconds, a little bit of roast, and it's ready to put in the rice there to get cooked. So what you can do is you can straight away dump in the rice with the water over here. Give it a little bit of simmer over here, spin it around. That's for the rice over here. Leave it be for 20-25 minutes. It's gonna get cooked fast. Well, that's done with the rice over here. Now coming back to the second main dish, we're gonna make a chicken curry. So basically we require these sort of ingredients over here. Coming back to this one's the garam masala. Then you have turmeric. It's from India actually. It's hand pressed and hand smashed, made into a fine powder. And salt, ghee as always, and paprika and dry coriander powder. So these are the spices which we're going to be using for the dish. Green chili, as you know yourself, and a little bit of cream, onions, and we have yellow peppers and some garlic and ginger as well. It's going to be slowly pan roasted such that it turns into a golden brown crisp color, and basically what we do is we blend it into a fine paste. And once that's done, then we're going to use the chicken to slow cook it for at least an hour. Once that's done, the chicken will also lose out all its juices and basically makes you the best curry ever. You can have it with the plain rice. So basically, before we actually get into the curry part, what we do is we need to marinate the chicken a little bit. So technically, normally what I do, I try to avoid oil as much as possible. I go with the simple ingredients that's going to give a little bit of kick when you're having the curry with. So first things first, we always go for the salt. Go generous amount, don't worry about it, because anyways, when you're making the curry, it actually marinates well and it tastes real better. Then we go for the red paprika. So I would say we'll go for mild this time. That should do the trick. And then garam masala, that's going to give you a little bit of a spice edge over there. Just mix it a little bit. Once you feel that all of chicken have actually had a little bit of spice coating on it, well, you just put it in the freezer for a couple of more minutes, like 15 to 20 minutes. Let the spices seep into the actual chicken. Well, we have all the ingredients ready over here, as we said. We have all the vegetables which you need. You don't need too much of ingredients to actually make it happen. Coming back to this, so as mentioned before, we have our chicken that's finely marinated with a little bit of paprika and salt. What you do is, you don't have to use much of oil into it. A little bit of, such that it doesn't actually stick to the pan. So we're going to be adding our ghee into it. You can use a generous proportion to it. As usual, slowly rub it around until it actually melts down and come back to the pan over here. And the other hand, what we can do is we can start putting the chicken into the pan there. So here we have our chicken simmering down slowly. Let it have a nice little crust over there. So what we do in the meanwhile, we had the wok ready here with a little bit of ghee here. So initially you don't have to dump in the whole veggies. So what we do step by step, initially we add the green chilies into it. And what you do, then you go for the ginger and the garlic there. And quickly stir it around a little bit. So you wait until it turns into a little bit of golden brown. What that indicates that it's kind of cooked a little bit, because when you grind it, you'll have a fine taste that goes along. Coming back to wok over here, what we do, we use the cashews now. Now we add on the peppers here. Just push it through. When it's shrunk, you take it out and then put it in a blender and make sure it's a fine paste. Well, we got the curry ready over here. Remember the spices, which we actually made it to a crisp brown and basically blended it to have a proper thick curry over here, gravy. This becomes the base of our curry actually over here. That goes with the chicken. So now we're going to start off the process by turning it on, keeping it at a mild heat at around 8 or 7. Same as before, we go for the ghee, slowly spin it around until it heats up. So now you don't need to add on any extra ingredients for it. So basically what we're doing here right now is we're going to be using the curry, which we blended it in. Drop it in slowly. What you do when you drop it off, give it a quick spin such that it stops exploding all over you. With this, you can actually use a little bit of water, or I would actually prefer to add on cream. So we use a little bit of cream depending on what consistency you actually like with it. Give it a good bit of stir. So this actually helps you to calm down with the spices and gives a little bit of a liquidy feel to the gravy. So now what we do is, so we go for the spices, salt, be generous. Make sure you add more or less, but keep tasting the food because that's the key factor there. And now we go for garam masala. A little bit of turmeric there. You don't have to use too much because turmeric tends to overpower the dish. So you just have to go for a half a teaspoon there. A little bit over the top. Cayenne pepper. A little bit again because we actually use 4 chilies to it. Then lastly, the dry coriander powder for this. So now once you added on all the spices to it, basically you start to stir it in. Now that we actually got our thick gravy ready and it's slowly cooking, we left it there for 10-15 minutes already. So now we put in the semi-cooked chicken into it. So since it's already semi-cooked, it doesn't need much time to actually cook all the way through. And that's it. You just leave it there for another 10 more minutes and you're good to go. Well, here we go. Beautiful curry is ready and the fragrant rice is also ready to be served to Mr. Gil right now. So what I'm going to do is right now give it a little bit of mix, get the gravy out, pour it in the corners. Well, here you go, the dinner's ready and let's go get Mr. Gil from his meeting right now. Good evening.
Evening. Lovely. This is fantastic. I'm absolutely starving.
And would you like a glass of wine as well to go with?
I would love one.
Perfect.
After a busy
I
day,
can grab that
meetings
for you.
and all that. Thank you so much.
I understand completely on this.
This looks gorgeous. So what are we having for dinner?
So here we have a flavored rice with cashew chicken and it's mildly spiced as requested.
Perfect, thank you. And my favourite wine.
Yes,
You're
you
doing very
absolutely
well.
adore
My
this
favourite.
stuff.
I love that white. Thank you so much. I can't wait to dive into it.
Please enjoy.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. I sadly was interrupted. I had to run off to a meeting, an urgent meeting, and I had to go into the office. And for you guys, you know my life, and if you haven't seen the CEO video, go check it out. But I'm sure you've learned so much. It was the first time I've hired a chef on the channel, and I definitely do it again. The food was delicious. He's a really, really good cook. I might even think about hiring for actually being a permanent personal chef. But thank you so much for joining. And just on another note, a lot of you are watching, but you're not subscribed, so do hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now, guys.